So I've got in here today a black hole and a haunted house. Both of these games need some work. This one needs a whole bunch of work, and this one needs, I don't know, a medium amount of, let's say. So I bought both of these together as a trade on a dialed in. Uh, so this one's supposed to be working 100%. I got it here, and it boots up. It's not kicking there's a ball down in the bottom, and it's not kicking it back up. If you look real hard, you see that little shiny spot there. That's a ball. It's not kicking it out. So everything's pretty much original. I think the power supply's got all the original caps. Uh, I see on the soundboard, those are all original. It does make sounds. I just opened the door. You got the original caps there. So I think probably none of the much needed upgrades to these System 80 games has been done to this game. So probably going through this game and just kind of I wouldn't say bulletproof, because still they're kind of they're never quite bulletproof, but it'll make it a lot better. And I'm just looking around here and I'm seeing, like, I saw this wire that does not look factory. I was kind of looking around and I saw this one here, and it's just like, it's just stuck underneath there. So we'll just act like we didn't see that. Stay there, little buddy. We'll get back to you. So is that wire in the right place? Who knows? There's probably, so when you see little things like that, you like, so this game's probably been in many people's hands since it came out in early 80s. And so, well, just jam it in there. So people have done things like that. So that's kind of where this game is at. It's mostly working. Now this one was sold as basically a project. This board, I don't know if it came out during shipping or whatever, it fell out. It looks like it has been recapped. I had planned not to even plug this thing in until I went through it and or turn it on, and I just out of, I don't know, just dumbness, I just plugged it in when I set this thing up here, and it was turned on, and the lights came on. I heard the wheel go. Anyway, I unplugged it real quick. So it does have some juice going somewhere. But other than that, I don't know. I've made a point of not trying to turn this thing on until I make sure that I've got some stable voltages and everything. So I'm going to try to do these in parallel because they're basically identical, well, very similar games. Both wide bodies. They came out within, I don't know, about a year probably. I don't know exactly. This game I have a real fondness for, is Black Hole. I played this at the little arcade that was right next to the laundry mat my grandmother went to, and she'd always give me a bunch of quarters, and she'd let me have all the quarters I wanted. I'd play this game like forever. So I love this game. I remember when I first saw it, it was like had the lower playing field and the flippers were backwards. I was like, it was the coolest thing ever. I loved it. I loved it. Never played this one as a kid, but it's also pretty cool too. And it's got the upper play field, so it's got 3 levels. I have to say, I don't know if this is a better game, but for me it's better just because I grew up with it as a kid. So this one is definitely the rougher of the two. It's got some rough touch-ups there. I don't know what happened there. It looks like, I don't know, that's a weird looking trace there, like somebody, like something, like a solvent or something came down. I don't know. But I think this thing will work out okay. I think it's going to be quite all right. The cabinet's decent. I think this side was a little bit rougher. Yeah, it's got a big gouge there. But not that concerned with the cabinet. The back glass looks pretty cool. It's got that revolving, so it looks like all the paint's on it. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm really stoked about being able to work on both of these together. This is like totally cool. So it's a Friday evening. I was just getting ready to go, so I'm not even going to do anything with them today. I'll go ahead and turn this one on. So this is the one that's working. We'll see. I don't know if I got it plugged in. Yes, I do have it plugged in. Okay. Yeah, so it's booted up. We got zeros. I don't know if we can coin up a game. If I can get my finger in there. we have any? Oh, this display's out. I would have thought that would have made some noise with the credits switch. Let's see if we press the start button, see what happens. Sounds like it's tilted or something. Oh, no. Well, it's making noises. That display's got a segment out, or it's missing a piece of data. Probably the... oh, wait. That's working now. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. I think that's the number of credits there. Let me try crediting this up one more time. Okay, definitely got some credits now. I think he's probably not happy. Are we in a game? That's the end of the game. Okay, we got 5 credits. Let me press it again. 3, 4. What the heck is going on here? I have no idea. No clue. And now I don't want to leave because I want to figure it out. That's my dilemma. Oh, jeez. I'm going to have to figure this out a little bit. I can't go home like this. It'll drive me crazy. So I figured it out. The tilt was touching. I pulled the tilt bob off there. It's laying there. The feeder, that one's missing. It's got too much pitch back. So that thing is like almost touching it. So anyway, we're in a game. Shoot. Might as well shoot it, right? Wouldn't want to waste a good ball. The flipper's not working. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, that worked. Flippers are dead. So we might have lost, well, not all the solenoid voltage because that one kicked. Now that one kicked out too. So we lost some of the power. Maybe if there's a fuse for the flippers. That's broken. Well, some of this stuff is going. Try that one. That one's not going to go. Well, that's enough wasting time with this for now. Let me show you. I've got a box of goodies that came with this thing. And really, and it's this, actually it came with kind of a mixture of the two. So there's a one of the connectors for the back. I don't know what a black hole rubber guide. Yeah. A manual for Haunted House. That's going to be very handy. That's pretty much trash to me. I don't like those kind of rubbers. A reproduction power supply. Might very well need that. Oh, he told me about this one. So this is a alternative soundboard. And it's got a little SD card in here. So I don't know. I need to contact this guy and ask him if this is currently set up. I guess I got to plug it in and find out if it's set up for Black Hole or if it's set up for Haunted House. I kind of like the music on Haunted House already really well. So anyway, that's like a kind of like semi-homebrew. There's some other stuff in here. Oh, flipper kit. That's really handy. I'll use that. Oh, there's a motor, and I figured out, I think that motor is probably that motor that turns the display for the black hole. And that looks like, yeah, that's new, I'd say. Never been soldered to. And that one, from the 3 or 4 seconds it ran, it was making a bunch of noise. Big Daddy kit. That's a power supply kit. So that's, if I have to swap one, I can rebuild the other. So that's a kit to rebuild the power supply. An old pop bumper board. Fuses. There's all kinds of stuff down in here. And more fuses, bulbs, coil. Something upgrade kit. Let's see what it says. Wow, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to have to figure out what this is. It says it's an upgrade. I mean, geez. I bet it's a pop bumper upgrade kit. I bet that's what it is. That's a pinball upgrade kit. Well, how do you upgrade a pinball? I mean, just on to steel. This kit is attempting to get one step closer towards having a sound and reliable pinball machine. These parts will improve reliability problems, connector issues, battery problems, blah, 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 blah. GerberDesigns.com. Okay. Well, what is that wire? Yeah, that's wire. So it's got a bunch of little caps, connectors, and some wire. I bet that wire is intended to ground the head down to the transformer in the bottom, because that's one of the upgrades. And just grounding all the boards, because none of these boards on these Gottliebs, the only way these boards are grounded is through these connectors, and these connectors are notoriously bad. They've got these plastic offsets, so the boards are not grounded, not well anyway. They are grounded through the connectors, but kind of the ground gets daisy chained. Oh, that's got the original battery on there. No corrosion yet, but it needs to go, because that is an original battery. I don't see a date, but I'm almost positive that's original. They had to use those square batteries like that. This one, well, it just doesn't have a battery. It's just empty. Somebody's taking it off, so no score saving on this one. But better be gone than corrode all over the board. So it's got another clean board anyway. So that's good. What else we have down here? Oh, so there's an old battery holder. Have no idea on earth what that is. A cap. That's probably 63, 8300. That's like a solenoid. What is this? Oh, external. Can't use that. Oh, I got wait, 3. I thought there was 4. Yeah, there's 4 up there. I've got 3 in the package. Huh. What's up with that? Oh, no, it's key. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, a couple of rectifiers. I'd say used. Yes. So anyway, that's wild. There's 3, not 4. I've done that. Ordered one less than you need. Anyway, so like I said, it's Friday night. I am going to leave for the weekend, and I'm going to come back here on Monday, and I'm going to start going. I'll probably, since this one works, I'm going to measure all the output voltages and input voltages, and then I'm going to rebuild this thing and then go from there. And then this one probably works. I mean, I'm gonna do these in parallel. So I'm gonna get that power supply going and this power supply going, and then we'll go to the next step. I'm gonna do everything in parallel because this one mostly works. So it makes it easier, because if something's wrong on this one, I can go right over here and see exactly what it should be, you know. So that's always helpful. And this one probably has some problems. I hope not, but it probably does. So anyway, until Monday. So I figured I'd start on these 2 games with the power supplies. I just measured on this 5 volt, 42 volts, and 8 volts. This one I've got on my voltages. I guess I'll measure this one too. And I've got the manual for this game. Unfortunately, I go from page 43 and 44 is the power supply, and those pages are missing. So I don't know, maybe I'll look down the cabinet one more time. Maybe the pages are flopping around down there, but they're not in the book. So kind of stinks. I think I saw one of these online. Usually the Gottliebs are not available online. If it is, it's an outlaw version. So as soon as I pulled this off, I remembered why this board is so much fun to work on. So it's attached to this plate, but this 5-volt regulator is soldered on here also. So you have to desolder the 5-volt regulator, whether you want to or not, just so you can work on everything else, even though this 5-volt regulator is completely fine and I don't intend to do anything to it. And from what I remember, there's 2 little plastic insulators that go around those 2 leads, so you don't want to misplace those. So I'm gonna fire up soldering iron and we'll get after this. So I'm gonna start by just taking all these screws out. There's the last one. These 2 on the regulator are a little bit longer than the other 4, so that thing will not come out because I've still got to desolder those 2 points. Oh, geez. Well, that was the end of that. I've got another one laying around here. And by the way, I ordered a Hacko. Everybody's nagging at me. I need to get a Hacko. I need to get a Hacko. I need to get a Hacko. Okay, so I think it's maybe going to arrive today, but that one has done its duty. Let me go find my other one. All right, I got my other one. This one I keep in my toolbox, travel box. Need a little bit longer of a insulation. Maybe if I just scooch it down a little bit. I'm not getting all the way down to the board, so it doesn't get a good suction. That was better. Hey,
John.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm Steven. How are you?
Hey, good, John. Well, I had somebody come in there, but anyway, I was having a little trouble getting this off, so I figured I'd just use this shovel iron here. So I put some fresh solder on there, get them both hot at the same time, and hopefully I can just, there we go. Yeah, that was a good use of that soldering iron. Okay, so now I can, well, shoot. I guess there weren't, that was some other board, but the little insulator is built into there, so that's kind of nice. So I'm just gonna keep that like that, and I'll get these cleared out. I think I will. And get either one of them clear. Big old blob on the back. Huge trace. All right, so I think I'll just start with the easy stuff. Let's look at these caps. Yeah, they all look original. Doesn't look like anybody's ever worked on them. So yeah, this board is labeled. There for a second I thought it was not, but that's labeled plus. So I guess the thing's glued down. I'll get this thing out of here. right, what are we looking at? 470, 100 volts. Not in this kit. Geez. I've got a 470. I don't know if I've got 100. I got a 470 50. That's not going to cut it. I've got 1,100. Probably be fine. I wish, let me, find the schematics for this thing. Look what I found, a 470 100. That will work. It'd work even better if I put it in the right direction. So I'm going to swap out this diode next. Inside my little kit here, there was this package of Zener diodes. Looks like one of them used, maybe the guy used it on the other power supply in the black hole. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take probably one of these, put it in there, and I believe what I read, there's a corresponding resistor you've also got to swap. So I'm going to find the page on Wikipedia is talking about this and make sure I'm doing it exactly right. So that it's a 4738 that I need, and I looked a little closer here, and so y'all may have seen this. This is 4 different diodes for whatever reason. So the 4738's already been used from this pack. Fortunately, I have some other 4738s here. So I'm good there. And if you change that 4738, then you have to also change R10 to a 1/2 watt, 680 ohm, or 470 or 510 or 560 or 620. So I'm going to do both of those. So I already put a little solder on there, and these things are heat stressed, I'd say. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing because they're all bent over and it's pretty heavy gauge wire. Try to make this as easy as possible to get out of here. Not sure which way. Yeah, that's down flush on that side. That's down flush on that side. Let's see what it looks like on the other side. It just came out. Yeah, that came out also. Oh, I hope those pads are okay. It smells like magic smoke. Heating up those pads there. I'm telling you, they had been cooked. So I guess this alleviates that issue. Put in this different diode and then a different resistor. Okay, so we're supposed to change R10. Probably around here, there's R11. Oh, there's R10. It's that big honking sucker. So those two. I'm going to go ahead and snip these off also. That way I can manipulate each one independently and hopefully get it out of here with less issue. That was really hot. I don't know why these things get so hot all the time. Need to get some tweezers or something. I can't hold it. It's such a big gauge wire. It's transmitting that heat really fast. It's just too dang hot. So that was a battle getting those out. Okay, so we want a 680 half watt. I got a 681 watt. I suppose that will do. All right, they highly suggest swapping out that pot right there, and I think I probably got that part in this kit. I'm not going to swap out all the components for the 5 volts, like this and that chip, and the 5 volts is working fine. So I don't know if that's for the 5 volts or not, but those parts are all functioning fine. Do need to put this pot in here. I don't know the orientation. I would guess it goes like that. Of course, if I'm wrong, that's really bad, because then I got to take this whole thing apart again. I should get my multimeter and just measure. I'm pretty certain that's the way it goes. Just reading the guide, and it said replace the round pin connectors with square pins. And I was like, that makes sense actually, because these are round. So I'm gonna take these things out. I may have to swap over to my bigger shovel iron here. I think it'll bridge all these, yeah. Let that thing start cooking. It takes a couple minutes to get hot enough to heat that whole thing up, and I'm gonna take these out and put in some new header pins. Wow, that works well. Work even better if my soldering iron would get a little hotter. just barely got enough juice to, yep, that one. Maybe I can just hold on to the plastic part of it here with my fingers. If I can just use my fingers and not have to use another tool. Easy as pie. Okay, perfect. Let's get the solder out of there and get them replaced. I got my new header pins put in there. Last thing I'm doing is putting a, this is the ground on that, I believe what would be the 12 volts coming in here. From there to this screw hole, which will basically transfer that ground to this plate, which is going to then be the basis of the ground for everything up in the head. So otherwise this everything is grounded independently, and it just no good. You need a common ground. If you don't have a common ground, you don't have common voltage. So I'm gonna cut that just a little shorter than I would have liked, but it'll be all right. And Wikipedia guide makes clear you need to, whichever one that goes to, I don't know, let's go like this. So that one there, I need to scrape all the paint off of there real quick. Okay, I got the paint off there. I'm gonna try to just clean these up, these leads, because they've got to pass up through this board again. I'm gonna lay this down. So, yeah, that's flush. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get from the side so I can see what's going on here, or kind of see. I can't see anything. Yeah, okay, I can see the screw holes. I'll get them lined up, and then maybe I'll just get lucky with the other ones. Okay. Actually, I think I'm in there. I can see them wanting to come through, but it's not quite fitting. Put a little bit of pressure. And I think what I'm gonna do, if I get this laid down, I think I'm gonna put some solder on there and get it hot, and maybe they'll come down. And maybe I need a little shovel so I can get them both hot at the same time, which is gonna take me a couple minutes to get it hot. All right, let's see how this is gonna work. Yeah. Oh, there they went. I think I'm in. Yeah. I think we're good. Let me get the bolts and get this thing screwed in. Gonna find the two long ones. These were all from the back side. This one doesn't quite want to go. There it goes. You got plugged in here. I've got ground here, so I can measure between, say, any of these screws there. But I went for that screw and the three test points, got my voltages, tuned my voltage with the pot, so I did have the pot in there correctly. Got it down to, put it at 5.15. That's slightly high, but it's going to drop a little bit more once I plug the rest of the boards in. So that is mostly good. This thing still needs to be grounded down to the transformer, and it's not. So ultimately what I'm going to do is all these boards up here, they will get grounded to this one of these plates. So this power supply, and then the power supply is going to get grounded down to back down to the transformer. So we get the power good. Well, mostly we still got this this cap here. We need to swap that cap out too. I don't know. It's at 6,825. I'm sure I got something to work for that. I think we saw that. There's one in here. Am I making stuff up? I thought I saw something. That 1,600 by 25 seems to resonate. Anyway, somewhere I've got one. Well, the soundboard's got power. How is... I didn't think anything got... Maybe it just... I guess I don't understand how these works. I thought it all came off of here. I thought I had it in... Well, I'm a little confused. I just heard it talk. Did y'all hear it talk? I heard it talk. This soundboard is running. And I thought this was all the outputs of all the 5 volts. And this thing's got to have 5 volts. Unless it's making its own 5 volts down here. I don't know. Somebody tell me. Crazy. All right, well, that's all. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go play some pinball. I got a pinball tournament to run, and I'll see y'all mañana. Well, I came this morning, dug through my box of parts that came with this game, and I found my 6800 63 volt cap, so I'm going to swap it out for that orange one right there, and then my 12 volt will be good to go. So, actually, I probably ought to desolder that before I unscrew it, because that way I've got a set of helping hands to hold it while I desolder it. All right, just gonna throw a little fresh solder on here. If I can. Iron wasn't quite hot. And the red goes to the positive lead, looks like. Alrighty. Now I'll put that in wrist burning range and screw this sucker. And with any luck, the other one will be the same diameter. It is. That's very fortunate. Maybe it wasn't fortunate, maybe it was well planned. It's fortunate for me because I didn't plan anything. I just came with the game. Have a little solder on this wire here because it doesn't really have much on it. And it turned out my iron is pretty hot. Put a little on these 2 leads. You can't see for the smoke coming off. I'll try to do this backwards handed so y'all can see. I'm gonna do the red one first because it's the red one's gonna be in the green one's gonna be in the way of the right one. All right, give him a little tug. That's good. All right. So the power supply is good on this one. I still don't have, was short of all the grounds, but it's been updated. Let's look at this other game, a black hole, see what it looks like. So before I ground all these boards to the power supplies on both these games, I pulled off both these little connectors between the MPU and the driver board. So these boards come, that green wire's the ground, and it's the very end corner pin. And right adjacent to it, I'm pretty certain, is the 5 volts. And because it's only on one side, that makes it even a weaker ground because it doesn't have anything to push against the other side. So the better solution, and on the board here, that it's that pin right there, it wraps around. So both sides is ground. So what you can do is put a pin or a wire on both of those and go to both of those down there and have a double ground and also a double 5 volts. And that gets your, because that's how your 5 volts goes. So your 5 volts goes into here, and then it comes from here. I believe that's how it gets down to here. And that's definitely how the ground. So the ground, we're going to have another ground, but it's a good idea to put that in here. So somebody has done that on this. This is the one in the haunted house over here, but it's a butchery. I mean, so they didn't have a connector, so they just jammed the wire in there. And you see this one, the wires are just sticking out. I mean, that's no good, having loose wires hanging out like that. Ground, I mean, that can get on any kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not what you want to do. If you don't have the connector, just leave it the way it is. That's not better. That's worse. I see what you're trying to do, but it's not helping. So I might use this actual wire, but I'm going to put a connector on it. And I'll put a connector in the last 2 slots there. I think I'm going to verify, but I know that last one's ground, and I think the next one's a 5 volt. So I got a wire, I got a pin, and you got to have they're kind of special Gottlieb pins. And I'm going to go, make sure I put this in the correct way, like that. And then on the back other side here, just like that. So the 2 greens are, well, black and a green, and a little sliver of red because that was a paired wire. I'm going to put a red one right there adjacent to it. If you're going to crimp these, it's good to have a crimping tool. They don't cost too much, and they just, not only do they save time, they do a lot better job crimping. They do both crimps at the same time on the metal and the insulation. Geez, that went all the way through. Okay, so that one's done. I'm gonna do this other one, and then we'll move on to the board grounds. So I pulled the MPU out of Haunted House. I've got a little pencil eraser, and I'm just going to clean up these contacts a little bit. It's a very non-aggressive way to do it, but I don't know if y'all can see the difference, but I certainly can here in person. Maybe this works better like this. Yeah, that's a little easier way to do it. Just shines them up without getting too aggressive on them. These actually don't look too bad. They're just a little dirty. And the only other thing I'm going to do is wire a ground. So I'm going to attach a wire to this thing, and I'm going to put it where Pinwiki says. There's probably lots of places you could put it, but there's probably I'm going to rely on the wisdom of others. So this is where Pinwiki says to ground it. That big fat upper trace in the middle of the board. So that one right there. In fact, there's a little pad right there already. So I'm going to do that, make sure I've got enough length of wire. I can get over the power supply, put a little ring connector on there so I can bolt it in. Got that solder on there, got myself a little hook. I even threw a little solder down the top of there just to help hold it in place, because these things I never really trusted much. And then this will get hooked to the power supply. So I'm gonna throw this back in there. I'm gonna turn it, oh geez, I almost forgot my battery. That's coming out. Yeah, let me take care of that real quick. I think this thing's got 4 leads on it here. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. It's flush, so you can't really see under it. It has not leaked at all. That's evidenced by how well this solder's coming off of here. That one's free. I almost put my finger on there to help press. I would have regretted that. I think it'll come off now. Yeah. Yeah, I did have 4 leads. Assembled in Mexico. All right, so I am going to put in, telltale signs of a little corrosion on there. I'm going to put in a little coin cell battery. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to orient it. I'm also going to need to put in a diode. Does that go to anything? Yeah, that's just a mount, which is good. So I can maybe, I think both of those are just, they don't go to anything. Yeah. It'd be nice if I could go from the 5-volt to one of these dead ones. I think I can, and then I can, or actually, what would be better is if I could go from it, put the positive on the, yeah, I can't do that. So put the positive on the dead one, put the negative on the negative, and then on the back side of the board or on the top, either way, put the diode, because I'm gonna need a blocking diode, because this is a non-rechargeable battery. Dimension's a little skinnier than these. Just gonna bend it down a little bit. I think that's gonna work just like that. And then I need my diode. And I want it facing away from the battery, so going that way. So I'm just gonna run that through. I'll do it about like that. Leave myself a handle. Didn't even need the handle. So that's running over to the positive, okay. Put a battery in here. Jeez, I need to order some batteries. Only got out. And I'm just for fun, I'm going to check that trace there should have continuity there, because that's the ground side of that battery. I'm going to check that real quick. So with any luck, after doing these real simple mods, and the main one being cleaning those terminals, we will have fixed the missing segment on this digit. I think it was one of the player units. If not, then it very likely is a bad chip on that board, or maybe still a connector. So I'm gonna turn it on here. Still have that segment out there. I thought we had the same one missing. Yeah, it's missing on this one. So this one and this one are controlled by the same set of chips on the MPU. So it means it's probably not the displays are probably not both bad in the same way. It's either a connector, a wire, or the chip that drives them on this display. But I think I'll save that for later. I think I just want to get through all these ground mods, and you know, because heck, who knows? The grounds, maybe things will work after I get them all everything grounded. Probably won't fix that, but who knows? So I got that one done. We'll do these other two boards. I don't know if this one gets grounded also. Not exactly sure what that is, to be completely honest. Looks like another little power supply of some sort. I just looked up the manual. This is the sound speech power supply, which explains why this thing was making sounds and talking when this thing was unplugged. So this thing looks like it's been updated for sure. It's got new caps on it. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, I'm going to keep doing these in parallel. It'll make it easier for me because I know exactly, I don't have to look at the manual every time. So I'm going to, you know, do this on that game. I'm not going to film it, but I'm going to just keep in parallel. It just makes everything easier for me. So this is my soundboard power supply out of the Haunted House. It changed that cap. And I didn't see a guide. The Wikipedia, I don't think, addressed this board in terms of put it ground, but it's pretty clear where the ground's at. And you can see where the designer had intended for this to be grounded with a through hole, but it's a plastic mount. So it's like you got one side of Gottlieb's group designing for having a back box with a metal ground. I mean, that's what that's for. And yet they've got plastic mounts. So I don't know. This guy was on the right path, but the guy that designs the assembly of all these things into the back box, not so much. So I don't know. So next I pulled out the soundboard on the Haunted House. It's got these 5 electrolytic capacitors. I'll go ahead and clean these contacts. It doesn't, well, they are marked on the back of the board. I didn't see any markings on the polarity of the caps on the front of the board, so I went ahead and marked them. I just got a magic marker and put a little dot on the negative side. Because it's like negative, negative, then that one's there, and that one's on the top. So I just marked them all, and I think I'm gonna verify they're all the same size, and then I can just take them all off at once. So 4750, that one, 4750, 4750. Oh yeah, 4750, and I bet it's 4750. Yep, they're all 4750s, 47 microfarad, 50 volts. So I'm gonna take them off, swap them all out. So I got this recapped. That was a real pain. These caps here, the leads are really stiff. So it made it very hard to get out of here without pulling up traces. And I pulled up a couple, I had to repair them. It was kind of a pain. Oh, there's a big honker in there one too. I didn't even see that one. Maybe I'll take care of that too. The ground is this little second little pad here. So I got my ground. I'm gonna maybe take that one out there also, and then throw it back in the game. See if it still works, because like I said, I had to fix a couple of traces. You see that one there. I attached that one on the back of the board. It came up. Don't do this unless you really like working on boards, because this one was a challenge for me. So I thought I might hook up this newfangled soundboard here, but it's got a connector on the right and the left, and this thing has been used, and because you can see the tracks where it's been plugged in on the right and the, well, actually for sure the right. This left side, maybe not. It kind of looks like it, if I can get it to focus for y'all. Maybe not. Definitely it's got a lot bigger tracks on this side, for sure. I don't know if this is a complete replacement of this, or if it's like it goes in line and then there's another cable that goes from here to there. I wouldn't think so. I'd think it'd just be a swap for that. I'm tempted. It definitely mates up with that plug right there. I guess I could get on this guy's website and look. I know he's, I think he's German or something. His website's kind of hard to, it's kind of broken English. It's kind of hard to read. I built, not this board, but I built some System 80 MPUs using this system. And it worked pretty good. I still got a few of them. Universal soundboard for Gottlieb, System 1 and System 80. Maybe this, oh, I see, that's System 80 and that's System 1. So, okay, so I'm gonna plug it in. Yeah, that's clear. Plug it in on that right side and see what happens. So I just hooked up the driver board, put a ground on it. We'll throw it back in my Haunted House. Just pulled this board. I think it's the aux lamp driver board. There's really not a ground plane on this, and PinWiki doesn't advise anything about grounding it, so I didn't. I just reflowed the pins on here. I did swap out that cap there. It's a 5-volt reservoir. I'm gonna put it back in there, and I think I'll be done with the grounds up here, with the exception of grounding this to the grounding plate in the bottom of the cabinet. So as I remember, you're supposed to ground that the ground plane of the power supply to this ground return here. So it's running a wire down from the top down to here, and I'm gonna solder it to here, and I'm gonna leave it loose ended up, or with a little connector at the top like the other one, so I can pull that board. But these are all soldered, so I'm gonna just put another solder point on here for the wire. Yeah, here's where PinWiki shows it. Talking about that wire there, the bottom board ground strap is where all the grounds should come together for systematic games. So that I've got all the grounds from the head going to the power supply, then I'm gonna tie the power supply back down to right here. I got that soldered in there. It's that blue wire. It runs on the cabinet, comes up here and tied right in right there. So I'm done with all the ground wires. Did that little addition to the harness, the ground and the 5 volts. So I think I've done all the most of the bulletproofing. There's the pop bumper upgrades that I'm probably going to do unless it's already been done. So each one of these has a board, and I think on this system it would include it. When they ship these things out, they were wired wrong. So there's like a diode that's backwards, and you got to replace one diode with one capacitor with a staple. And this was from the factory, and they would still kind of work, but I guess there was an update that came out, and some of the games have been done, some of them haven't. I'm gonna look and see if these have been done or not. I'd say this one's been done, kind of crudely. It's just like that wire's hanging way out there. It's like, I don't know. I'm gonna read the guide. That's an original cap there. So that's one of them. There should be, on this board, there's that one would be for this pop bumper. There should be another one down in here somewhere. 2 more really. Oh, there's two down there. Way in the back. There's two more. And then there's one on this lower playfield too. So I think that's just a 5-volt reservoir for the chip. So it's, you know, unless it goes bad, that at a minimum, I'm gonna snip that off there because that just, y'all can't really see, but that little wire is just, it's hanging out a 1/2 inch. So after looking at this, they did swap that out with and reversed it. They put the staple in there. They did not swap this, so I swapped that, and they had reflowed the solder on there, and it looks good. So after replacing that one cap, I'm throwing it back in. I pulled out those other two from the bottom. They're just like the other one. They've been updated with the exception of replacing this cap. Actually, that one. That almost looks like a newer one than that one just because it's smaller. But I'm going to swap them out both. So I got those two back in there. Now I noticed this third one here, which is actually the fourth. I don't know if that's that one or one of these is that one. So that's all the pop bumpers. What the one I had before, one of these games I had before, this thing here was the kicker for this was always a problem. Wow, somebody's done some work on that. That's just a little kicker. Flippers, just seeing if they've been oiled. I don't think so. A little dirty, but I don't think they're all oily, which is good. So I may be done with the kind of upgrades. I still haven't checked the fuses. I really should have started with that. There's a big bank of them down there. And a lot of these Gottliebs, these are ones that you, well, if you're just checking to see if you've got continuity, you have to pull them out. I mean, most games you don't really have to do that. Everybody advises you should. Most of the time you don't really have to. On some of these old Gottliebs you do. Gottliebs in particular you do. But I need to check and make sure they're the right size. So I think I'll do that. Going to start at the top one all the way to the bottom. And everything was good. Got the last one. I couldn't really read it. It was supposed to be, it was either 1 amp or 10 amp. I couldn't read it. And it's supposed to be 1 amp. And I was like, oh, that's probably right. And I looked at it. And it's like, I don't know if you can see how big the hunk of metal. That is not a 1 amp slow blow. So the bottom one was wrong. It's also the one that was probably got burned up in the past. So yeah. So I figured I'd try to work on these lamp problems. So this one, it's missing that top right digit, which is the B, not digit, segment, so the B segment. This one's also missing the top right one. So I think it's a pin side thread. So these two chips generate the signals for, I don't know, it's 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. And this is 2 and 4 or 3 and 4. And these two here generate the signals for the bonus or for the match and for the bonus. Or for the, yeah, they call this the bonus. So, and it's the B that we're missing. So it's pin 12 of the Z23. And this comes in as a digital signal. So the fact that it comes in digitally and as, you know, it's code encoded. It's encoded here, it's coming out all these different lines. I believe should be able to get the logic probe, and especially if I can get an 8 to put out. I need to put 8 credits on the game so that every one of these are lit up, and then go with the logic probe and see if I've got the same kind of signal coming out all 8 of these. And if I do, then it's probably a connector issue. If one of these is dead right here, then it's probably not a connector issue, especially if I disconnect everything downstream, and then I really know it's isolated the board if it's different. So I put 9 credits on the game, and it's showing 9. It says 6, but that's because that one's out. And this is all lit up as zeros except for that one segment. So it's Z23, and the outputs are 9 through 15, and 12 is our suspected bad biscuit. So Z23 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's all the back side that I can't get to. This thing is dead as a bit, dead as a doornail. All right, I got my Logic product up properly. Okay, there's 9. I'll let you turn it around so you can see the. So it's high and low. 10, high and low. 9, 10, 11 is mostly low. 12 is stuck low. 13 is high and low. 14, mostly high. 15 and 16 is ground. So So 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is our bad biscuit. So I'd say, I'm saying that chip is bad. So that's C23 is 7448. Now check this out. So I just unplugged that, which is the connector for the displays. And I just want to make sure that one of the displays wasn't pulling it down. So there's 9, 10, 11, 12. So when that display is not plugged in, it's going fine. It's getting pulled down when that's plugged in. So my guess is one of these displays is somehow yanking it down. Look at that. That's got, you're going to bet that's, well, they're both got nonsense on them. Both those two. I'm going to unplug one and then the other. So I'm gonna turn the game off. That's one thing I've learned with Gottlieb. Don't plug and unplug the displays on Gottlieb with the game on. It will mess that stuff up. When I say mess stuff up, I mean blow chips. So turn the game off. I'm gonna plug that in. I'm gonna unplug. Let's start with this one and see if that alleviates the problem. If it is, maybe it's isolated to something on this display. So I turned it on. I've got everything plugged in except for that one, and look, it's working. So it looked like it was that chip on the board, but it's not. It's something is on here that's pulling it down. I'm gonna do one more test just to confirm that. I'm gonna turn the game off, and I'm gonna unplug this one and plug in that one, and just as a further confirmation of that is the bad biscuit. So here's one more time with that plugged in, and this not plugged in. And so for sure this display is bad, so I need to either fix that or swap it out. I'm gonna see if I can fix it. So here's the 4-digit display, and so this is the header pin coming in. So you've got this stuff here. Okay, so here's the segments. B comes in on this chip, and then it goes through this. So there's 2 potential chips that B goes through. So it could be, problem could be Z1 or Z2, or maybe something inside the glass. So Z1 and Z2 it could. So it could be either one of these 2 chips. Maybe I'll just try going with multimeter and see if it's something shorted out. I don't know. So I thought I had another one of these in the back. I don't. I've got a couple of other Gottlieb bigger displays that are both, I've got labeled bad glass. So I've got that chip, the 6118. I think that's also used in the Williams. That's a 7432. That's just a logic chip. I might have one of those. Actually, I do. I do have a 7432, but I'm guessing these things burn up all the time, so I'm guessing it's this one. So I'm gonna swap that out first and see what that is. Okay, so I pulled the 6118 out of there, put it in a socket, threw that chip in here. Let's see if it works. It does not. Well, let me try swapping out this chip then. All right, so I got that 7432 swapped in there. See if that makes a difference. Here we go. Oh, that's not good. That's even worse. makes me think that was kind of I'm on the right path there. Let me check my solder joints. And this was a pull, so that chip there might not be good. I just swapped it out again with a 5432, which is, I think, hey, I think that may be right. A 5432, I believe, is a slightly hopped up version of a 7432. We got another credit. There's the 8. I got it. So it was that chip. The one that was in there was bad, and the first one I swapped in there was bad. So those are going to both go in the trash. And this one here, that's probably still a good chip as far as I know. So now the question is, can I plug in this and get it to work also? I should be able to, but I'm not going to do that with it turned on because chip frying fiesta. Okay, so I've got all my displays working. This one's got a little bit of burn. I don't know if it's burn or just, they don't really so much burn, they just get dim. There's a trick where you put 9 volts, 12 volts across I think it's these last, actually, it's not the leads here, it's the leads up on the board, I believe. I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I've done it. Anyway, you hook up 12 volts. You can't see them because they've got the shield on there, but there's these little wires in there, and they will get like red hot, and it kind of burns all the junk off of them, and it will somewhat, sometimes it works a lot, sometimes it works a little bit, it will brighten them up. This one's got a little bit of that too, especially on the first 3 digits over here. They're a little dim, but not too bad. I was considering maybe buying a set of LEDs and consolidating. Oh, this one, yeah, you can see it. Yeah, so you apply the voltage across these outer 2. And I was thinking about getting one set of LEDs and consolidating these and the best ones into one game. And then I'll also have a few spares. Because right now I have 0 Gottlieb glass in my shop. And I like that. I was able to fix this one, but sometimes you can't. When the glass is bad, you can't fix them. So, geez, I think it's time to play a little Haunted House and see what's working and what's not working. Oh, shoot. Oh, I got one too many balls in there. I'll play one-handed here a little bit. Oh, shoot. It's not the easiest game to play one-handed because you got double flippers and everything. Flippers are pretty powerful. Let's just play by hand here. Oops. See if all this stuff is working. That's working. That's working. There's that thing kicks up somehow or another, I forget. Oh, perfect. Well, didn't get down there fast enough. I think this game's working. If I hit the right flipper, I thought that flipper wasn't working. I was hitting the wrong button earlier. Oh, scissor flip. Well, kind of a scissor flip. I was on 5 ball. Take care of that. It's too new a game for 5 balls. Ooh, grand champion got the 3 knocks. It's the first game that's been played. All right, well, I think I will end this video here. I know I was working on both of them, but I just kind of I just got bored with doing the ground mods, frankly. So I focused on this one. I am going to get back to this other one. I'll do another video on this one. This one's going to be more fun than this one was. This one was a little bit of fun. Had some fun with the chips. Right there, that little buddy. And I'm probably going to do another video on this one, just shopping. I'm probably going to strip it down and put new plastics and these LEDs. I really don't like these type of LEDs. They may be all right for the back glass. They're just not very bright. I haven't put the back glass in there to see it lit up. But in any case, or I may sell this thing as it is. I've got a buddy that kind of looking for a game, and he likes to really detail the games. He does a great job at it. So he may prefer to just buy it as it is than me going through it and then him following up and doing it again. So anyway, if you like the video, click like and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. Say cheers.